This is our fire-bellied toads, and these are amphibians. And we got 2 of them that are in here. One is named Uh-Oh, the green one, and Uh-Oh is brown.
Uh-oh and uh-oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, I mixed that up. But these guys can live up to 5 years, and we've had these guys for about 4 years, so they're getting ready close to the end of their little life, which kind of sucks. But the reason why they're called fire-bellied toads, because on the very bottom of his belly, it's all red and looks like fire. Just so you can see. And we just decided to bring these guys out because we normally don't pull these guys out. I mean, you can't handle these guys because they absorb so much of their skin that the oils that are on us can actually get them sick and kill them. So these guys are more just a look at animal. You don't hold them, you don't pull them out. But they're really easy to take care of.
And very pretty.
Every other day or so, you just go and get some crickets and you can just throw it in their cage. Or like what I like to do is I got tongs. I go and hand feed them and they come and eat them off the tongs. But these guys are very minimal. So they're a really good pet to have. Not really too hard to take care of. Alright, now we got the amphibians out of the way. We're going to pull out our first snake. And this is our smallest snake we got right now. She's a corn snake. She's a sun-kissed corn snake. Possible het scaleless, so we can get babies from her that won't have any scales on them. But her name is Tora, and she is itty bitty right now. This is the smallest snake that we got. She can't do no damage to you. She can try to bite you and it won't do nothing. Her mouth can't even open up big enough. This would be a good snake for beginner people to go and start owning, handling. She won't hurt you at all. She barely even moves around. But she is a corn snake, so these guys are commonly found in cornfields or out in big open fields. They are close cousins to rat snakes, milk snakes, king snakes. They're all clubrids, so they're all around the same family. But we've had her only for a few months now. No, I'm not letting no one hold her because she is so small. I'm not going to let anyone hold her. You can accidentally just go and pinch her too hard and you can hurt her. So that's why she's the one that I won't let anyone hold. But I got plenty of snakes that everyone can hold. None of them will bite you. You don't got to worry about that.
Every animal has the possibility to bite, but ours are very docile and have not so far.
But she's a great eater and she loves to dig in her habitat. Just like what you were saying is how Weasel was gone one day and you found him underneath his dirt. And then this is another corn snake, but this is an adult corn snake. He's amelanistic. He's a creamsicle corn snake. And he is about full grown. He won't get any longer than this. He actually is getting ready to come out of shed, so he looks a little bit more milky or opaque. He's usually a little bit more orange. But the reason why it's called a creamsicle corn snake is because he got the orange on top and then the white on the bottom, kind of like a creamsicle. But he was our first snake that we got. He started it all. And I was feeding live during then, and he accidentally got bit on his eye by one of the rats that was feeding him. So his left eye, he can't see at it. He's blind out of his left eye. But it doesn't stop him at all. He still goes around his cage. He's still moving around. If anyone wants to hold him, you're more than welcome to hold him. He won't hurt you at all. These guys are flighty, so they like to move a lot more than some of the other snakes I'll pull out. And you're more than welcome to pet him. You want to hold him?
Yeah. Jason?
And his name's Leo because he looks kind of like a lion. Leo the lion. Nope. No, Karina's a lot thicker. She's a ball python. These guys are more long and thin. Ball pythons are a little bit shorter and more girthy. They have more to snake to them. But we've had him for almost 2 years now, and he's going to be turning, well, he's already 3. So he's full grown. They're not going to get really much bigger than this. He can get a little bit thicker if I go and feed him a little bit more. But right now this is perfect weight for him. It's perfect size. Won't get no bigger.
He's a very picky eater.
Yeah, all because of what happened when I was feeding him live. His meal ate him, so he doesn't want to eat anything like that anymore. So it's understandable. I wouldn't like to eat steak if a cow bit me.
I would, then I'd get payback.
Yeah, I know, right? Or maybe they're just getting payback. But like I said, he's normally a little bit more brighter. He's a little bit more orange. But he's in shed right now, so he's going through the milk process.
This one wants to see her.
Yeah, he won't hurt you at all.
You want to touch him?
Yeah, he's nice and smooth.
Wait, this one. Oh, like this. You want to touch him?
And I got some other snakes that I got that are a lot bigger, and I don't know why some people feel a lot better petting a bigger snake than the little snakes. But the bigger snake will hurt more if it bites you, but it's very unlikely for them to. These guys can judge their prey really good. So if it's too big for them, they're not even going to waste the energy for it, because that's a lot of energy for them to put into just eating. So they want to make sure it's actually going to go down. Because there was one time that these guys tried to feed Weasel. It was a little bit too big of a meal, and he still tried to fit it down, but then he ended up puking it back up. And that was a lot of energy he wasted that could have gone towards him getting a meal. So snakes are pretty good on judging on if the meal is big enough for them, and if it's too big, they'd rather run away than go and oh, did this fall over?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Jason knocked it. I didn't think it fell over.
Oh no.
Are they okay?
Yeah. Sorry, dude. But then what we got here is our baby ball pythons. We actually hatched these guys this year, so they're only a month old. But these guys are itty bitty.
Those are the ones I see when they were clear through.
Oh yeah, yeah. And these guys, they're pretty. So this one right here is a pastel ball python. So he looks like a normal ball python, but he's just a little bit more brighter, has more yellows on him. And this is a pastel genetic stripe. So of course you can tell the genetic stripe has a striping down his back, but he has no saddles. That's what these are called, saddles on their back. And these guys are only a month old. They're barely even eaten, they shed. And these guys are nice and smooth. Anyone want to hold them, you're more than welcome to hold them.
I want to hold
They'll just move around a little bit. They're not really gonna go around, or because these guys are so new. They're just chilling. They're trying to figure out what life is.
Leah, no, you can't have one.
Yeah,
You have 3 of them available if you
and
were
we do
thinking
got some
about
of them for sale that are this size. Some of them are different morphs, and they look kind of different. Yep. And his name's Onyx. He already got to home. Someone's already taking care of him. And then this is Dana. This is one of the ones we're actually going to keep. We want to turn her into a breeder and get some more babies from her.
I'm used
That'd
to
be kinda
holding
cool.
snakes. My brother used to have one. Yeah.
And you guys will see in a minute. I'm going to pull out some more ball pythons, and you'll see the difference on their sizes. They can be all the way from that size all the way up to almost 6 feet long.
While these ones are holding them, you want to grab Houdini out?
Sure. And those guys, that was a pastel, and then the other one is a pastel genetic stripe. This dude I'm going to be pulling out, he's just a normal ball python. So he has the same color or same patterning as that pastel, but he's just more brown and black. And
bigger.
he is bigger.
He's
He is
7.
7. So he can actually get a lot bigger than what he is now. But the people that I got him from, a lot of these guys were rescues.
Hold weird.
So they weren't able to take care of him that well. He had a bunch of mites that were all over him. He was underweight. He had some stuck shed that was on him. You want to hold him? He's a lot heavier than the other ones. Little Onyx.
Oh, I don't have it.
Yeah, if you want to keep holding him. What'd you learn new?
The holes on like in front of his like.
Yeah, those are heat pits.
Yeah, I never knew that.
And that's where vipers, they have a lot bigger heat pits, and they can actually see a lot more in depth. And oh, that's not Mocha, that's Houdini. Mocha is the one that has just the striped down back. Sorry.
It's a nice snake.
It's very pretty.
It's a very pretty color.
Anyone else want to hold?
She wanted, these ones over here wanted to hold the big one. They want to hold
Okay.
Houdini.
Okay, well, you guys got Houdini. Oh, sorry. Bump, bump.
Remember to stay very careful.
And while you guys still got it, let's continue with the ball python crane. And this is Karina. She's our albino ball python, and she's one of our oldest and biggest ball pythons. And she is albino. Her birthday is August 5th, so just bring him happy. So she's 10 years old. Her clutch is due to hatch August 15th, so we only got a few days until she gets babies.
4 more days, hopefully, we'll be cutting the clutch.
We don't really think that we're going to be getting any albinos, because to get albinos, you got to breed another albino to an albino to get them. Or we're probably going to get just a bunch of normal ball pythons like that dude over there.
How rare?
But they'll be het albino.
How
So we can go breed it back to an albino. And
They're, in this day and age, they're not as rare as they used to be.
yeah,
But
these
like
guys
he
used to
said,
be
you
way
do
rarer
need to
back
have
then, but now
2
you can go and buy them
genes to
pretty
make
easily.
the albinos because albinism is a recessive gene. So you need to have 2 in order to make 1.
I'm just keeping a track on all the snakes, so I want to make sure they're all.
Is that a girl?
Yes.
That is a girl. This is a boy, and this is a girl.
I can tell the difference.
So what you call it is called sexting, and you
No,
go and
good.
get a probe, and you go and put it inside their ventral scale, which is where they poop, they pee, they do everything from. And you go and get a little probe in there, and depending on how far the probe goes in, is how you can tell if it's a boy or a girl. If it goes in deeper, it's a boy. If it doesn't go in that deep, it's a girl. So that's where you gotta go and probe them, or you can call what's called popping.
4-ball python.
Yeah, that's called popping, and you can literally go and make it where they pretty much show their innards and it comes out. You push it out. Yeah, it's not really that pleasant. That's why a lot of people like to do probing. But probing can be not too good either, because if you go too far into the snake, you can hurt the snake. Because you're putting something foreign into it. Here, where's
Onyx.
The heat sensors kind of look like mustaches.
And you'll see that when we pull out Nala, the red-tailed boas, a lot of them do have what look like a mustache and goatee. It's actually really adorable.
She just barely an 8, so I don't know if I'm gonna let too many people hold her, because she might poop on you. Fair warning, just let you guys know. She might possibly poop on you. Not
Cynthia, I'm going to spread Nala around over here to the ones who haven't seen it yet. Or not Nala, Kirena. Kirena means beautiful in Japanese.
And that's where, after we're done with this, I got one more snake
She's
that's even bigger than her. And if you guys
one
want
of
me to
our
bring her over,
oldest.
I can. It's just we didn't want to bring him over with all the other snakes. Once we go and take him back, I don't have no problem coming back over. His name's Bowie. Yeah, it's because he's a red-tailed boa, so we named him David Bowie. Huh?
It all passes to you.
Yeah, that would actually be awesome.
It's like you're running away, so.
Yep. They do that. Just keep putting your hands, let her keep on moving while you're moving with her to keep her a little more calm and a little less stressed out. If you're holding them back, that's when they're like, oh no, let me go, it's somebody's trying to eat me. So, and they like to go in little spots.
Yeah, it just tried to go through there.
Because it's more of a defense. But the reason why this dude has killed scales is because he's a digger. He likes to go and dig.
Yeah, that's probably
he goes into the gopher holes.
You want to see me on your lap?
Why, dude? I haven't seen you for a minute. You're getting brown. You're looking way brown. Wow. And so this is a Pacific gopher snake.
Great Basin.
Is he a Great Basin? I thought he's Pacific.
No,
Because
he's
the
a Great
Pacific has
Basin.
more of the checker pattern on him.
Well, yes and no. He's still a
And you'll
he's
give
still a
people
Great
all the
Basin
hand, right?
gopher snake. Those
Okay, I don't
are
want to just be passing the snake around without your, because this isn't my snake. Yeah, it looks like he's moving all over his cage, man.
No, I just went and did that this morning.
Well, you can still see all the lines from where you're
very,
going.
very pretty.
And we got another gopher snake that's over at our house, but he's a little bit more red than he is. He's more brown.
Like from her.
That's probably
Don't
like brownies looking.
No, you can't touch your head.
Way brown.
Well, I didn't.
It's on
Huh.
the bottom. There's like a line.
Quit poking his head.
Okay,
I'm gonna poke your head.
that's extra skin. So when they open their mouth to get their food, this part of their jaw is not connected, so they can move this side of their jaw and this side of their jaw independently. And so when they're moving, they're like crawling with their mouth, and that's just extra skin to make sure that they can open their mouth wide enough to eat. Because her belly right here, that can fit a medium-sized rat, but her head, you wouldn't think she'd be able to eat a medium-sized rat with that little head, but she can. She has, and that is her favorite. So it's just some extra skin, basically like when you blow up a balloon and then you let all the air out, it's kind of wrinkly and stretched out. Yeah, so they have just that extra skin there to make sure that they can open their mouth wide enough to be able to eat the meal.
So basically, it makes them
Maybe
act
he just got blue eyes.
In essence,
without you
yes.
even noticing.
I'm a snake too.
You're a snake too? You're a cute snake.
Train is over there. Okay. Hey, no more, dude.
You slithering around?
And he lives up to his name. He is a ball python. He loves to stay into a ball. That's what he is told us for. We can go and take him anywhere. He'll stay like this for hours. We're sitting here holding him. We went to the pet store. We went to go and get food for us. Still just sitting like this. He's not trying to move around at all. That's what's cool about ball pythons. They don't move around in as much as like these guys do.
Yeah. Snake, Abby.
His head looks like he's about to come up. The head's about to come up straight.
I have a snake like the next 2 weeks, so warn your
And you can find that in your backyard right now.
That's exactly what happened with Weasel, although he was in the front yard.
I used to be afraid of snakes, and I found this big razor snake curled up on the sidewalk where I was a couple years ago. I was like,
That's nice now, dude.
That's
Houdini.
Remember, they like to wrap their tails around something to keep them anchored. If they're not wrapping around you, they could feel scared and try to go fast and fly away.
My brother's snake used to like sit around his neck in a tie.
Mhm.
And he'd have holes in his shirt, so
Or you just cuddle him up with her, dude.
she'd go up one sleeve, come out her armpit hole. What? I don't know. Can I see it?
Alright, anyone else want to hold Karina before I put her back?
Karina. Who's Karina?
The yellow snake.
Our albino.
The yellow
I
snake.
didn't get a whole Karina actually.
How many snakes have you ever had? How many snakes have you had?
We have 18 snakes right now,
Holy moly.
but 3 of them are going to a different home.
And one of them is.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, was it? Oh,
So right now we have 17
I just got it.
without King.
Snake is going somewhere. Help me. Help me. Snake is going on.
Uh,
You really
Karina, I don't think you want to go on my couch. There's not much stuff under here.
I'm just loving this.
I like snakes.
I love snakes.
If I know they're not.
and that's where snakes normally aren't trying to bite you. The only reason why they're biting is because they've either been mistreated by us, so they see us as a threat, or they see us as food. And so that's where you can actually go. You can actually go and change that around on a snake that tries to bite a lot. If you go and start handling a lot more, let it associate that we aren't food and we're not there to hurt them. They'll actually start being a lot less flighty and they'll be more acclimated to being held. This is Nala. She is a Colombian red-tailed boa, and we bought her only about a month ago. And she is one of our garbage disposals. If we have a snake that doesn't eat anything, she will eat it for us. And she is a Colombian red-tailed boa. So she's a lot different than all the other snakes that I've showed you guys. She can get really big. They get about the max they can get is about 8 feet long, but their average is about 5 to 6 feet.
Can I hold
Yep, and that's where she recently ate, so she can poop on you guys, and she is newer to us, so she hasn't been held that much. She can strike, but it's very unlikely for her to. But she's just like Bowie, how she looks totally different on the front of her to the back of her.
Are they called red-tailed because their tails, instead of the darker brown, they turn red?
Well, not
Most
all red,
of them,
not
yes.
all red tails have red tails, but yes, that is why. This does have red on its tail, and that's why it's called a red-tailed boa. But there's some red-tailed boas that won't have any red at all.
Like Bowie is axanthic,
So the
he's
one that I'm gonna bring over that's the
grays
biggest thing I
and
got.
silvers
He
and
is the
browns.
same, just like her, but he doesn't have the red melon, the yellow, and the brown. So
No,
he's
he
more
has
like
brown.
He's
just
more of like a grayish,
not as much.
silver, white-looking snake.
So,
And that's where.
no
Oh,
flavor
sorry.
belly.
You can go and get snakes that look totally different, but they're the same species. All it is just a paint job, technically. And she's getting a lot bigger than when we first got her.
Oh yeah, she is.
I can see some of the red in her tail.
Oh yeah, she got a lot of red and yellow. That's at the back of her tail.
Hi. Get comfortable.
It enjoys you.
It enjoys easy.
Yeah,
Well, I just let snakes cruise before. Hi, please don't poop on me.
Who's that?
It's very unlikely that she'll poop on you guys.
Where are you going?
I didn't know that there was someone here that was going to be terrified of snakes. Yes.
Hi.
Are you taking them out?
Well,
I think she's getting comfortable. She, right?
Yes. Yes. They have little spurs on their vent, on their back end, and with boas, you can mostly tell with the males having large spurs and the females having very small or virtually non-existent spurs. And their spurs are actually the remnants of evolution from when they had legs. Or that's what some say. So they are, I guess they would be kind of connected on the inside to if they were to have hip joints. But since they do not have legs anymore through evolution, they just have their spurs.
Where's my dad?
And with boas, you can tell.
Snakes, I think of Chinese dragons.
Basically
Basically snakes that can fly. Hi.
Alright, we're gonna move her along.
What? I mean, hold it.
Remember to try and let her tail wrap around you so she feels secure.
So
I think she was really secure.
I drank.
She likes to wrap, definitely.
My arm feels weird now.
You really want to beat me, do you? She likes him.
She just likes the warmth.
Him as well. But he's a puppy dog now. He doesn't try. I mean, besides the one little accident that happened when all the kids were around us, he struck at one of the kids. But that's because all the kids asked to look at Bowie one day, and so all the kids were like going and grabbing him and moving him, and she came and ran up to us, and so he went and struck at her. He didn't bite her at all, but it was just him pretty much saying, "Back up,
Okay,
you're too
Jason,
close to me."
let me have her.
I was there.
And so that's why, right when that happened, I respected him, and I went and put him back into his cage, because he was done. He was letting me know that he didn't want to be held, be touched, have anyone around him. So that's what you need to do, is respect any animal. It's like a dog. If a dog starts barking at you and growling at you, are you going to go and keep petting it? No, you're going to let it be, you're going to let it do its thing. So kind of same thing with a snake. Huh? Oh yeah, you can hold Bowie, dude. And he won't try to do nothing to you. He might squeeze you a little bit, and he's a little flighty. God, she feels so different compared to him.
Bowie, let me go.
Like Bowie's very.
Happy herping!
Yeah.